very good afternoon to all on frequency. This is Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India from South Africa. Wishing to welcome everyone on the worldwide DATV Net this afternoon on Father's Day. And we have a number of people watching and listening as well. And the following I have on the net is myself and then ZS1 Mike, who will tell us about radar receiver that's working so well. That's Leon. And then we have Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta Bert. He's in Holland. He's going to tell us about Tom's software on the Winter Hill. And then we have Tom himself, the author of the software. He'll be telling us a bit more about the Winter Hill. We have Mike, Golf 1 Whiskey Lima Whiskey X-Ray. He's from the UK, and he'll also tell us on Winter Hill number 6 progress. Welcome, Mike. Look forward to that as well. And then our old friend Martin, Golf 4 Fox Kilo Kilo, also going to talk about the Winter Hill. So it looks like we have a nice Winter Hill project this afternoon. And then Nick, Golf 4 India Mike Oscar. I did see another station earlier, but he's taken himself off. As usual, we just wish to give our acknowledgement to the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to use part of their satellite. We wish to, of course, thank AMSAT DL and AMSAT UK and, of course, the BATC. Without their valued assistance and advice swapping and so graciously given, we would not have been able to come on the satellite and partake in this wonderful aspect of the hobby. I also wish to say hello to young Leslie, my grandson. He popped in just now with a big packet full of goodies, from cool drinks to sweets to chocolates to biscuits. I was thoroughly spoiled. So thank you very much, Leslie. I appreciate that. And you can come around any afternoon to help me eat some of that. You're more than welcome. Anyway, Leslie's watching on YouTube. He's got his cell phone there, and he's quite actively involved in watching different things on YouTube, which I don't always like, but amateur radio is a good start. Right, let's just see if there's anyone on our big net. Hello, Chris, Ocean November 1 Radio Charlie. And a very good afternoon to you. We'd love you to join if you have the opportunity. It will be good to see you. And then hello, Johannes, Delta Golf 4 Delta Charlie. He's in Germany. And also, I don't think Sepp should be on. He came on the other day. That's Delta Lima 7 Sierra Echo Papa in Germany. Sepp came on for the first time, outstanding signal, and so I hope Sepp can also join us today. Right, with that, Leon, I'm going to pass the microphone to you, dear sir. ZS1 Mike in Worcester in the Cape from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India near Johannesburg, South Africa.
Okay, it's actually working. I wonder if this, well, Ed's not here. They were on late last night. But I see he's not on today. Then I have to push up the power a little bit for him, but there are it's all in Europe and local, so I don't have to push more power. Okay, very good morning. No, it's all afternoon today. Good afternoon, everybody. And the listeners, Chris, yeah, Chris can understand us quite well, even when we're speaking Afrikaans, so he really should join. Okay, yes, and I'm glad to see that Tom is back on. Apparently he had a broken connector on his antenna, but that's all been fixed. Yeah, I don't have much to talk about the radar. When was it? Early in the week. I had the small scanner, which I was practicing with here, and I took that down to the airfield and put it up there, and it worked pretty well. I got good results. Unfortunately, I was too late. There were no flying activity, so I couldn't see that, but otherwise it was working fine. Then the big one, the big scanner, I managed to get all the timing sorted out and the interfacing. I've got the full scan on the PPI now, and everything looks good there. But the builders are starting tomorrow, so now I have to pack up all my goodies there in the garage, move it across to the one wall. That's going to be a mission. Just to because they want to work on the one side, and it's and the other garages as well. So I'm going to be almost off. As a matter of fact, my receiving dish, I have to remove my receiving dish, because the new roof that comes over the 3 garages has got a little bit of overhang, which should not interfere with the dish, but the builder advised me to take it down. We can always put it back up later. But I do have my first experimental dish against the house, which I'll use for receiving. It's only a 90 centimeter or something, if that much. But it's only about 1D rating lower than the 1.2 for receiving. Fortunately, the transmit dish is not being touched. Okay. I'm on the old Canon camera, the small Canon camera, and if I do that, I am on the big Canon camera, which Gary prefers. So that's the one. And funny enough, Gary, I just started up the transmit PC now, and of course now the other little camera doesn't come on. It just gives me a blank screen. So I know it's light, it's green, everything, but it's not happy. Oh, it's very, very temperamental, these USB things. Anyway, so right from there we give it to Bert, PA3AOD, I think, for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Okay. Good afternoon, evening, or morning. It was. Wait a moment. That's too loud. Yeah. I got several receivers on now, so sometimes it's difficult. When you've got more than one receivers, you pull the volume down from the audio down from one, but the other one stays then up. Okay, everybody. Yeah, bringing down the dish. Yeah, you have to line it then again when you put up the dish again, Leon. Yeah, that's always some extra work. Not preferred, but sometimes it's necessary. Last week we had a contest, mostly with what also Leon prefers, the old analog system. It was on 70 centimeters and the high gigahertz bands. I did well for my things that I've done. Worked a couple of stations full duplex on 70 and 23, and that worked fine. So for me the contest was anyway a success, so I'm happy with it. I heard you this morning already, Leon, together with Gary in Old Dutch, and that was you can follow it. Sometimes you got some words that's difficult to follow, but the whole sentence then you can follow it rather easy. I was planning to tell something about the Windhill, but Mr. Windhill himself is also here, so probably he can do it much better. Maybe I can show you already something. I've got a camera on the other one. Let's see. Okay. I just put one of the other cameras on the screen. So for people who doesn't know, the Windhill is a 4-channel receiver. As you can see at the moment, 3 channels are now occupied, and 1 channel is then left over. Can even from 4 screens you can make one big screen. difficult to see, huh? Anyway, that's the only thing I wanted to tell, but yeah, I will give the system then to Tom. He knows everything about it, and he did a marvelous job with the software. Some small issues, but yeah, this is just the test software, but that's working, yeah, for me anyway, good. Let's see, let's put on the other camera. Probably I need a director over here who's changing the cameras. That's much easier. Okay, the system then goes to Tom. He can tell everything about the wind drill system. From Papa Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta.
Okay, thanks there, Bert. Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf, and good to see everybody on the net today. And it's been interesting to see how the weather's been between the different locations. Seems like everybody in Europe is dealing with a heat wave. Meanwhile, here in South Africa, we're freezing our collective asses off. So. It's been nice and chilly on this side, so I've been quite jealous when everybody's complaining about the heat on their side. But yeah, good to see everybody. Nice long net, lots of people on today. And yeah, but you could have spoken about the winter wheel, that's not a problem. Yeah, so this week I've been mainly busy with the winter wheel. So for those of you that don't know, like Bert said, the winter wheel is a 4-channel receiver. Well, the hardware is the advanced receiver hardware from the BATC, which has two of them NIM modules on it, and gives you in total four tuners to receive. And what's nice about it as well, that instead of connecting to a PC, it's got the board makes provision for a Raspberry Pi and that all on there. So after the Longman client that I made worked so well, I figured the next one is to do one for the winter wheel. For the winter wheel, I had to do a few changes though. The main winter wheel code, essentially all the information and the streams are all sent over UDP ports, which works fine if you're only sending it to one computer. But the ideas that I had was that I would want to be able to access it from different computers. So I had to go into the code of the winter wheel and started messing around in there. Took me a good day to figure out exactly how it was put together. And then I developed the same WebSocket interface for the winter wheel than what Phil Crump originally did for the Longman client. A lot of the code is copy and paste from his code. I just integrated it into there. And then made a little client for it. You saw it there by Bert. I can probably see if I can show you here as well. There, and there. So it's got the 4 channels. It's also got the quick tune built into it, so that you can change the channels there. And then yeah, it's got it's got all the basic stuff than what the Longman client as well. If you can basically select from the quick tune which one you want to see. You can then send the streams to this PC, or I can send it back to the winter wheel, and if I have another client running on another PC, then I can show it there as well. So that's, yeah, it's all working pretty well. It was a bit of a more tricky story getting 4 VLC instances going. We had some issues on the audio where you would change the audio of one of them and they all would change. Yeah, it's still, so remember I act this together in a day or two, so there's still a few issues in that. But Bert and Martin, G4FKK, has been very helpful in testing the various bits and pieces. So thanks guys for that, much appreciated. And yeah, the idea is to take it a bit further and basically expand this to the Android client as well. So now because we have 4 channels, you can now dedicate the channel to an Android device. I'm thinking of getting into the right software as well. The LIDE is the single set-top box. Instead of having a mini tuner connected to that, you can just direct one of the streams of the winter hill to the LIDE. So yeah, there's lots to play with, and it's been quite enjoyable, you know, getting into the winter hill code to see how it's all put together there. Well done to Mike and Brian, who's it's basically their little child project there, and yeah, thanks for allowing me to go modify it. So I'm still deciding. Well, at the moment everything's designed to keep the compatibility for Winter Hill, so that the changes that I make can go directly back into the main Winter Hill code. I do have some other ideas around it that might break compatibility, so I'm considering just splitting off the project, creating a whole separate project, you know, based on top of the Winter Hill, and then adding the stuff on there. Then we can maintain the Winter Hill compatibility, and I'll have another project where I can fiddle with. So the next big thing that I want to do for this is the web interface, not only for controlling it, but I get a lot of requests of guys wanting to access their Longman client or Winter Hill over the internet. And I've got this idea of basically using WebRTC, so you could log into a website and then connect to your Winter Hill that way. So yeah, some things to play with and try, so we'll see how it goes. And then Leon, I haven't forgotten about your Spectrum display as well. I've got something in the works there. Not enough to show yet, but it should have something by next week. So, and then yeah, my dish is back up and sorted. I was fiddling with it a bit yesterday. I wanted to, you know, basically combine my transmit and receive on one dish. And in the process I managed to break off the SMA connector on my potty. So, but yeah, easy enough to fix, so all back up and running, and it seems like it's working even better than before, so no complaints there. Okay, that's a whole mouthful from me. So from here I'll hand it over to Mike. G1 LWX here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf.
Okay, just checking we're getting the audio. Yeah, not like the problems I had the other week. Okay, everything seems to be running okay. Okay, very interesting that. We'll have to get in touch and just talk me through that one. Yeah, you're talking about the weather in South Africa. Well, unfortunately, the weather in the UK, as you can see, is very overcast, about 16 degrees and slight wind. So it's not very good here either. So there we go. It's Father's Day as well. So if I get called away, you'll have to excuse me. My daughter is supposed to be coming down. I don't know what time she'll get here, but if I suddenly disappear, that's the problem. Also, I'll only be doing one over. As per usual, I have to pick my wife up around about 3 o'clock, so I have to keep my eye on the time. As you can see, I now have both hands, which is a lot better than when I was last speaking to you. I have to go for another X-ray on Thursday, just to make sure everything's progressing okay, but it's a lot better than it was. Okay, Winter Hill, yes. Ash number 6, this is the 6th one I've built. The problem I've had is obtaining the Raspberry Pis, but the Pi Hut had them in Saturday, I think it was, so I purchased one. They're now out of stock again. so we're okay for the Raspberry Pis. I've also ordered 2 tuners from the BATC, so by the time next week comes, as you can see the board, I think you've seen this before, haven't you? By the time next week comes, we'll have the number 6 working. So I build them for people, not for myself obviously, but people what need them building. But the Pi problem has kept me from finishing it off. So I have to do that, and then I've got the front panel marked out. Oh, hang on, let's put some light in here. It's better. I've got the front panel marked out. See that. So that needs cutting out. I shall do that this week as well. So, as I say, by the time next week comes, this time next week, it should be up and running. We've got here Father's Day. Yes, I mentioned that. And about the heat wave, yeah. Well, I've been in Spain for 9 weeks, and the temperature there was horrendous. It was in 40 degrees, which is very warm, very uncomfortable. So we're glad to get back to the UK for a bit of nicer weather, shall we say? Okay, my Winter Hill. There we go. It's on the computer at the moment. It's very, very good, isn't it? A lot nicer being able to watch 4 streams at once. And congratulations to Brian EWJ. Actually, the Winter Hill named after G3SMU. Now Winter Hill is about 15 miles away from here. Mike G0MJW, his parents' house is also up there, and I was a good friend of Brian's. We did a lot of TV together. He used to be very active on 3 centimeters, and he had a superb QTH. I think it was something like almost 2,000 feet above sea level, so it was a superb QTH, and he was very active. And then he had problems with his eyes, and it cruelly robbed him of being able to do TV. So that was very unfortunate. But yeah, that's who the Winter Hill's named after. Okay, that's me done. As I say, I won't be back. I'll see you all next week. And who's to take it now? Let's have a look here. Oh, Martin, G4FKK. So over to you, Martin, from G1LWX.
Yeah, fine, Mike. G1LWX. And the group, G4FKK. I'm on that one today. I'm a bit discombobulated. I've only been in and out of the shack very briefly the last week or so. I've been building my my workshop in the garden, which I'll show a bit of evidence of in a minute. But anyway, yeah, great to see everyone, and very good afternoon to Leslie over there in South Africa, if you're still watching on the internet. And very good of you to make sure your grandfather is provided for. Although I think it's cheating, Gary, getting presents when you're a grandfather. That doesn't count, surely. I've got my daughter around here today. We've just had a most beautiful lunch, and she's a very good cook. And but I have been out in the garden chopping up bits of wood and things. What else was there? Oh, you've got the builders in, Leon. I wonder what I missed quite what you're having built, but that sounds good. And yeah, and I've been watching Ed PY2RN and his friends in Portugal. It's weird, you know, because when I watch you guys in South Africa speaking Afrikaans, I can normally keep up with what's happening. I don't know the vocabulary or anything, but I can generally follow what's going on. But Portuguese is, and I can do, I can understand Spanish and French and that sort of thing, but Portuguese, it is very, very difficult to get my ears round that. Bert, well done on the contest then. I don't know how successful you were, but that sounds good. I thought your audio might be a bit low, as was yours actually, Mike, but I just turned the volume up, so it wasn't a huge problem. It's a bit like the newspapers over here, Tom. The newspapers over here love to say things like, oh, it's hotter in London than it is in Cairo. And then they sort of forget to mention that it's still hot in Cairo while it's freezing things off in this country. Well, today is a beautiful day, in my opinion. It's about 18 degrees here and slightly overcast, so perfect for working in the garden, much more comfortable. I'm not a hot weather person, really. I'm interested to hear your, now you've conquered the Winter Hill and Longmynd, you're up to the Ride next, so that's going to be very good, Tom. Oh, you'll notice I've got your Winter Hill client chugging away in the background there. I'll just quickly show Mike this, because Mike's got Winter Hill. That's Tom's client, which, as you see, he's got the 4 windows, same as Winter Hill. Although I have got a version of Brian's client that will give you 16 windows. The other 12 are for streams or other things you might have going on that utilise VLC. But it's very good, Tom. Very impressed. I'm waiting to see all the next bells and whistles. No pressure though. I'm glad you got your dish working again. I heard the other day that you'd broken the patch feed there. Yeah, mine's got an SMA on it. But what I've done, I've got hard lined just a very short piece of hard line from the SMA to a N-type adapter. I think if I make another one, I'll just put the N-type straight on. But anyway, I'm glad that's working again. Connecting via the internet, that will be interesting. I was thinking, well, that won't be difficult. Surely you just got to forward some ports. But of course, you've got all the data streaming. So I like your idea for that. Mike, I'm glad to see you've got the use of both hands now. That's good. And that the 6th Winter Hill is coming on. Yeah, I want to build another one. I've got one here, but now Tom's developing stuff. I might have to build another one. And Raspberry Pis, yeah, they're like hen's teeth. Although a friend of mine works, he owns his own company and makes equipment for broadcasters. And he tells me you can get Raspberry Pis at the drop of the hat. He just bought 90 of them for a project he's working on. So I think the foundation must be or someone somewhere is keeping them for industry rather than us, which is most poor. Right, just quick, some of you have probably all seen this. Let's go over there. This is the slow development of my workshop in the garden. So that was the first stud wall. I've got to go to a different mode to show the rest of them. That was it with the stud walls up and a bit of the cladding done. And a couple of days ago, it was like that. It's got even more cladding on it now. All the joists are in for the roof. Those fence posts are cut off in line with the slope of the roof. So today's job was going to be starting to put the roof cladding on, but my daughter said that would be very dull of me, so I came in and had a nice lunch instead. Right, with that, I'll put it round to you, Nick. Trust you're keeping well. G4IMO and the Worldwide Web Net, no, the Worldwide Net. It's G4FKK standing by.
Right, yes, yes, thank you, Martin. Make sure I've got some audio. Right, yeah, that's good. What am I doing here? Where's my camera? There we go. Yes, all okay, Martin, very good. Interesting in your progress on your new workshop or shed. I think it sounds much better if you call it a workshop, doesn't it? Excellent. Yeah, look, it's coming on well. Excuse me. Yes, anyway, I wasn't on for last week, I think, or the week before. Been fairly hectic here, doing various things. Yes, Friday here was, it was just too hot. It was 32 degrees here. Unbelievably hot. I couldn't sleep at all at night. It's terrible. Yesterday was freezing cold, and it poured with rain all the time, all day Saturday. And today, we're 17 degrees, which sounds reasonable, but it isn't really, because when you go outside, there's a very cold northerly wind here. So I'm inside at the moment. I've turned my mic level up. I noticed, I'm not sure what the correct level is. I normally run OBS with the little audio mixer VU meter thing, sort of in the orange. And I noticed it wasn't particularly loud, so I went into the settings and I've turned it up a little bit. So you'll probably tell me that it's too loud now. But I do tend to speak fairly quietly anyway. So that's that. What else was there? I did make some notes here. I've reduced my video resolution. I'm running 720 now. I normally run 1080 because there's not normally a lot of movement in my pictures, but because I'm going to show a couple of little short videos in a moment, I noticed when I was running it at 1080, it all went horribly wrong. So I'll I shall try that in a few moments. Leon, when you went to your second camera, that was superb. It was much sharper, and the colours looked more natural. So yeah, out of the two cameras, I definitely prefer the second one. Right. What else was there? That's about it, really. I've been on HF, been operating on 28 megs. That's been very lively, and 50 megs, 6 meters, a lot of sporadic E on there as well. So let me see if I can show you these videos. Last weekend there was an agricultural show in the village here, and so I strolled up there to have a look round. And they have sort of old vintage cars and old tractors and various things. There were a few traction engines and such like. But the main reason I wanted to go was I haven't got any video on this new computer, so I've never tried this this mode of transmission with any video. So I was curious to know just what would happen. And as I say, the first time I tried it, it all went horribly wrong because I ran out of null packets. So anyway, at this horse show, at this agricultural show, they had some horses and some alpacas as well, which I will now try and show you. I'll show you the horses first of all. I've turned the video down, the audio down on this. I've turned the video down, the audio down on this. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, I'll keep the audio quite low on the video, but yeah, that's this was at the agricultural show, and it was there was quite a few people there, probably about 800 people in total. is sort of held in the school playing field. So it was quite an interesting little afternoon out anyway to see some horses. Very nice. And that lady on that little horse and cart, there was a competition, and she came first in the competition for her expertise of controlling a horse. Anyway, I think that's coming to an end now. But there was some little alpacas there, which I can show you, which is here. Hopefully, there we go. I was fairly close to these, and when I was doing the video, when I zoom in, the lens on the front of the camera comes out about 6 inches, and that alpaca there that's looking at me was not very happy with my lens that suddenly zoomed in on him. He wasn't happy with me at all. But anyway, there you go. Right, okay, I'll just check my phone. I don't think anybody else is on after me. Let me just have a quick look. I did check the list. Oh, hang on, let me just go back on here. Well, we put my camera back on again. I'm pretty sure there's nobody else on here after me. Scroll down the list. No, I'm the last one on the list. So round to you, Gary. ZS6 Yankee India, G4IMO.
Okay, very good indeed, G4IMO, ZS6YI. Very nice, Nick. And your video is excellent. You've done a great job. So you've got that licked, and I wouldn't change anything on your setup now. Your video bit rates are right. Your video size is perfect, and also your camera was very clear today, really. And your audio that you jacked it up a bit is superb. We had a little message from Tobias, Delta Lima 7 Tango Juliet. He said the audio was low, but that was, in fact, Mike, Golf 1 Lima Whiskey X-ray, whose audio was very low. But I did try to crank it up as much as I could, but it was fine. We could all hear. But I think the audio is okay now. I just put it back to where we normally have it, of course. But yeah, very interesting indeed. Firstly, very nice to see you back again, Martin. I haven't seen you for a while. And you have obviously been quite productive, so well done. And your workshop, as we shall call it, or your laboratory, how's that for a nice fancy word for a shed? Your laboratory is coming on very well, so very good. We actually poured some concrete yesterday, not me, but my guys at the work. And so we have to keep a certain room where we have specialized machines for polyurethane, polyurea spraying at a very constant temperature. Otherwise, viscosities go for a loop and all sorts of other technical things. So what we did was we took some polystyrene and put it down, about 50 millimeters of polystyrene, and then put the concrete on top of that, another 50 millimeters or so. And then next week we'll just tile it. But that makes a big difference to the insulation, because a lot of the cold actually comes from the ground upwards. This week we've had terrible weather in a way. It's all Leon's fault, because he leaves the door open. You know, it's a fridge down by him, because all his mountains are full of ice, and then the wind blows up towards us, and we have a chill factor of minus 20 degrees Celsius. And when the wind dies, it rapidly gets to 20. Now, yesterday we had 22 degrees the whole day because there was no wind. Leon kept the wind at bay. And today we are at this moment 22 degrees C, which is nice. It'll go up to 23 at 4 o'clock, and then slowly come down, and eventually we are going to end up at around about 7 degrees. I think it'll go lower, but we were -6. When was it now? Wednesday, I think. It was very, very cold here, but it quickly went back up. So that's the beauty of the South African winter where we live, except when Leon doesn't close the door and that wind comes up all the way from the Cape, we freeze. If you can see which way the wind's blowing, because the guy normally turns purple or blue, and then you know, aha, that's the way. And the other side's roasting because he's out of the wind. So, yeah, crazy weather. And we're quite high above sea level. We're 1,500 odd meters above sea level where I live. So it's, even in summer, we don't have much humidity, which makes it very pleasant, actually. The Encyclopedia Britannica, when it was an encyclopedia, claimed that the finest climate on the planet is the highvelds of Transvaal, South Africa. Now, all the names have changed since the new government's taken over, so I don't even know where we are, but it's now called Gauteng. It's like somebody at the toilet having a puke, but anyway, so be it. Right, let me just see. Yeah, Tobias didn't tell me if the audio streaming is okay, but I just had a quick listen. And Martin, yeah, we've taught Leslie well from a young age that the grandpa is also in line for something on Father's Day, you see. Right, yeah, Leon, Leon's got that radar working nicely, but we'll hope to get some videos in due course once some planes come in and out. It'll be nice to see that, Leon. And yeah, Bert, your winter heel's working like a dream. And so good on that. And of course, Tom's very busy writing programs. I tell you what, we're using Tom more than what his own salt mine is to do all sorts of fancy programs, software. He's very talented that way, and can debug programs, and it's nice to have someone like that within a 10-minute drive. So that helps a lot. Shortly, we'll be joined by a guy that works for Tom. He's also into the software. He was a lecturer at the university in software, in IT, and then Tom poached him. And so he's also very clued up when it comes to this type of thing. And just yesterday, old Saro, hello Saro, I see Saro is watching, and he did send a message that he's watching. It's a pity we don't get to see you, Saro. That winter hill has got one drawback, and that is, well, the winter hill with Tom's program, and that is that we don't get to see the guys. They lie in bed watching us, you see, instead of being at the radio talking. So, Tom, the transmission side must now come to light. then there's no excuse for not coming on. But anyway, yeah, Saro helped yesterday as well to get Tom going with the issues. Not Tom, Romeo, he'll be on, ZR6 Romeo Bravo. So there's no great rush. He's a bit of a perfectionist. He likes to get his wiring done properly, and he comes here and he says, please, let's sort out your wiring. I said, listen, it's working. You like my wife now? She never comes up to the shack because she is painfully tidy and neat, but not my shack, so she doesn't come here. So, yeah, it took me 42 years of marriage to get her out of the shack, so it's good. Anyway, I can say that because I've got her permission to say that. Mike, yeah, good. I see you won't come back. That's fine, and I know you have to fetch your wife. But yet another winter hill, wonderful. You becoming a real expert, even soldering with the left hand last week or 2 weeks ago. It's unbelievable. And Martin, yes, we've commented, and also Nick. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Leon, and we can have another swing through, and then I think we'll close the net at about 4 or thereabouts. So ZS1 Mike to take the micro from Zulu Sierra 6 Yankee India.
Okay, it's actually working. ZS6 Yankee India and the group, ZS1 Mike returning. Okay, everybody received perfectly. Except, Nick, your audio is perfect. There's nothing wrong with your level. But Mike, yes, Mike's audio was very low. Clean, now nothing wrong with it. It just needs to be, the yellow bars in OBS, they must almost touch the red now and then. On the absolute peaks, it must touch the reds. So the yellow should be full the whole time when you're talking. That gives you about the right audio level. That's still very far from clipping. Okay. Yeah, blame the weather on me. Good heavens, yeah. Okay, I'll take it. Right, and nice on the parcel of goodies that you received from Leslie, Gary. That's nice. Oh yes, I forgot to comment last night on your little Fomalite box for the GPS disciplined oscillator. Yeah, that's a direct copy of the chocolate box you made. Yes. I don't know if you've ever noticed that inside that Leobodner, the actual crystal is sitting on a thin little tongue of PC board, so as to have the minimum thermal conductivity from the rest of the circuitry to the crystal to try and keep it stable temperature wise. So you're just improving on that. But anyway, okay. Right, Bert, yeah, you did a whole thing on the winter hills. I know nothing about the winter hill. I don't want to watch 4 pictures at the same time. It's bad enough watching 2. So, but it looks impressive, I must say. And then you guys are doing it through internet, and I don't know what's Tom was really doing magic there. And I'm very glad that the analog competition went well, Bert. That's nice. Do not neglect the analog part of the business. I mean, in the end, we are still using analog. RF is an analog thing. You don't get digital RF. So we've got to keep it going. And people must keep on understanding analog things. There's more than just ones and zeros. Okay, Tom. Thanks for the feedback on the spectrum display. That's sounds very encouraging. And yeah, just a question: did you receive the notes I emailed to you last night? It's 7 pages on the IFF. I've just finished programming another PIC here that generates the master station pulses. It's 2 pulses, and then 21 microseconds, and it gives you another one. So that's running. And I'm trying to figure it out. It's not all that complicated. It's four words in succession: A, B, C, and D, and they're only 3 bits each. So you can have anything from 0 to 7 in an IFF word. So all 7s is I have been hijacked, and then you have all the other mixes in between. But it's only from 0 to 7. Per digit, and there's 4 digits. And I'm giving enough time. I forgot now. I think it takes 20. There's 12 bits, and I think it's 21 microseconds. I mean, anyway, it's all on the papers that I've sent you. So anyway, that's on that. If ever you have time to have a look at it, I can see that everybody's loading you with all sorts of projects and things. You know, it's the old story of what is about the good horse you beat to death or something, overloaded. Okay, and Mike, yeah, I see you're much more mobile now with the sling gone, and yes, and I'm sure it's much less painful now as well. Oh, I can just imagine. Okay, I did comment on your low audio. I'm sure you can just push it up into the full yellow. And Martin, yes, your workshop's coming on nicely. I think mine's going to be a little bit bigger than yours. Yes, okay, I'll explain. I have the house, And not attached to the house, separate from the house, I have my workshop, and attached to that 3 garages. The first garage was the original garage, and then my dad added another double garage, so it's 3 garages. But the builder who added the extra 2 made a big mess up with the roofing. So a friend of mine suggested, why don't you, and it's all parapet wall for these 3 garages, and it's leaking and it's a mess. So a friend of mine suggested I have another roof put over the whole lot. And that is what's happening now. It's going to happen. And also the first garage, I'm going to close off. They're building up, bricking up the garage door. It's got a side door, a small normal size side door, but the main door they're bricking up and just putting a 1.8 meter window right at the top. It's got to be high or else they'll burgle it. And that's where I'm going to have all my lathes and stuff and so on, because my present workshop is the size of a small bedroom. It's not big at all. And I also store, that's my valve store for radio valves, all my metal stock, you know, angle irons and sheeting and tubing and rods and anything metalwork. All sorts of things I store there. So the place is crowded and it's a mess. So I need more workshop spacing. So the first garage is going to become a nice workshop with a ceiling in and everything. And then the other 2 garages, they have to lift the high side so high that I can have a lot of shelves in there with a lot of storage space on the one side. So that's basically what's going to hopefully start tomorrow. I've already ordered the bricks and the cement and all sorts of other gimmicks and gadgets that the builder wants. So, okay, he reckons in 2 weeks' time I'm going to have a new roof over there. So we'll see about that. Okay, that's Martin. Nick, your audio is perfect, and also your picture is brilliant. Your picture is razor sharp. I've noticed that weeks ago. I don't know what camera you're using, but your video is very, very good. Okay, and that's the end of the line. Chris, ON1 Radio Charlie, jy moet inskakel en saamgesels met ons. We kan luisteren. Okay, Gary, back to you. ZS6 Yankee India to wrap it up for the group from ZS1 Mike.
Okay, well, actually, we said we'll go another round table. So let's just have a look. Mike had to run off, Golf 1 Lima Whiskey X-ray. We also have Ari, Tango 1 Foxtrot, or is it Foxtrot Alpha? I can't remember now. He's on, Tango 1 Foxtrot Alpha. Hello, Ari. He says a great picture all over from Iceland. So he's watching, and nice to see you on. Ari, you must just get going there. Ari and I did something quite naughty when the satellite just went up. We worked each other on D-Star via the satellite, but I must admit it was like 12 o'clock in the evening, 1 o'clock my side, I think 12 o'clock for Ari. And so there was hardly anyone on the satellite, or there was nobody on. We were dead alone. So we said, let's try D-Star, and it worked beautifully, almost audio quality like we have in here. We just transmitted quick call signs over because guys don't like us to work wideband on the narrowband side, obviously. So we had a QSO, and that was a first for both, and via the satellite, so we could put that to rest, and we did it. Anyway, that's about 3 years ago. It's just when the satellite got active, so it was good fun. Right, now the next guy actually is Bert. I don't know if you want to come and take it. Failing which, you, Tom, and I hope you had a good braai with your dad. So Papa Alpha 3 Alpha Oscar Delta to take it, failing which ZR6 Tango Golf from ZS6YI for the final round.
Yeah, I think it's working, eh? Sometimes got some issues, yeah, but it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, but what no. Martin about his new shed, or laboratory, or whatever you would call it, eh? This is me, Martin. Your wife kicks you out of the house, or must I see that, or just for playing around with some extra stuff, eh? Yeah, Leon, building extra room, that makes another problem, eh? Because he has some room, you will put some extra stuff in it, eh? Iron or radio equipment. So within a couple of months, probably all the extra storage you have now is all filled up, probably, eh? So then you need again another extra space, eh? And an extra roof over the garages. That's not so bad at all, eh? There's the sun not shining directly on the garage itself, but on the roof, eh? So probably it's still a little bit cooler than in the garage, eh? Okay, that's all from this side. Nothing more to tell or mention. Yeah, session down to Tom, and we'll see you probably next week, eh? Then it's maybe more quiet from my side, eh? And see, yeah, okay, Tom, system yours. Zulu Romeo 6, Tango Golf, from Pop Alpha 3, Alpha Oscar Delta.
Okay, thanks there, Bert, Papa Alpha Oscar Alpha Delta, here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf. Audio sounded a bit funny there. Hopefully I'm just receiving it funny and not transmitting it funny. I'll keep it short. Great night everybody, good to see everybody again. Leon, yeah, thanks. I got your mail. I've got the notes, I started skimming them. I'm gonna sit somewhere and just go through them in detail and that, but thanks for the information there, and thanks for helping, trying to get a hold of a transponder for the balloon stuff. Much appreciated. Yeah, exciting times with building. Always fun if new stuff gets built. But I agree with Bert there. You know, any new space just quickly gets filled up with more stuff. I'm trying to downsize, but that all just means that I've got stuff that, you know, I'll clean this corner, and then I don't clean. I just move it over to the other side, and then, you know, that rinse and repeat every now and again. So yeah, good luck with that. But yeah, and then yeah, I'm keen to see. You must get some video of that radar in action. That'd be pretty neat to see. But always good to see you, and thanks for helping with the testing. And yeah, I'm jealous of all the ATV that you guys are playing with. That always sounds like a lot of fun. Mike, yeah, glad to see you. You've got your mobile again with both arms, and well done there on your number 6 winter hill. I'll send you that information around the software and stuff as well, and you can play with it. I just need to dig out an email for you, or yeah, see if I can get some contact details for you, then we can make a plan. Martin, yeah, always good to see you as well, and well, yeah, your workshop is progressing nicely. Kind of figured your workshop's moving along because you've been so quiet on the DATV. But yeah, thanks also for helping with the testing of the software. It definitely makes it a lot easier to develop something like this if there's people testing and giving feedback and that. So that's very much appreciated. And yeah, the Raspberry Pis. I read an article from the foundation where they were talking about or addressing the shortages, and they definitely have a commercial section that make sure that they providing a Raspberry Pis for guys using it commercially, which I guess is cool because obviously these guys are relying on it. But on the other hand, you know, the Raspberry Pi was always designed to be a hobbyist thing. So now the hobbyists are struggling to get a hold of it. So hopefully that will change at some point. And then Nick, yeah, brilliant video from you as always, and nice videos there. Especially that alpaca, definitely looked like it was ready to spit at you or something like that. It is an alpaca that spits, right? Yeah, I think so. So, but yeah, very nice videos there. And then yeah, Gary, yeah, spoiled by Leslie. Well done. That's a good way to raise him there. I do something similar with mine for Christmas. So he was taught to leave biscuits and milk for Santa. And yeah, I don't, you know, I'm Santa supposedly, so I don't want biscuits and milk. I teach him that he needs, the Santa actually wants beer and drywars or biltong. Guys that don't know what drywars and biltong is, it's essentially the South African version of beef jerky, I think. But it's a lot better, yeah, in the way we do it. But yeah, I teach him to to leave those snacks for Father Christmas. Yeah, I think that's everything from my side. And yeah, I've got a few more things in the works. I'll definitely be showing it off next week, and then, well, in the coming weeks, depending on how time goes. I've been doing some experiments on the new high-speed modem multimedia beacon on a narrowband. I've got some fun things there as well that I'm playing with. Not necessarily, you know, applications development-wise, just fun experiments, developing stuff for it. So yeah, I'll have more information next time. Okay, as always, great to see everybody, and I hope everybody has a wonderful week ahead. And I'm sure we'll all chat in between on the satellite. 73 to all, and I'm gonna pass it over to. Okay, Mike said he's not there anymore. Just want to confirm. Yeah, time to go. Okay, so Mike's no longer there, so I'm gonna give it over there to Martin. G4FKK, here from Zulu Romeo 6 Tango Golf.
Yeah, fine, Tom. ZR6TG, G4FKK returning. Just having a quick look at my lip sync, which seems all right. And yeah, very interesting. Another excellent net you've controlled there, Gary. And yeah, well, like Tom, I think I've made a note. If I ever get grandchildren, they'll get the same lesson as Leslie, Gary. That's a good plan, that. Nick, as Leon was saying, your audio is absolutely superb, and the picture resolution is astonishing. I think, I could be wrong, but I think you're running a 920 or something, aren't you? So you'll have to let us all know how you managed to squeeze so much sharposity out of it. And that's marvellous. And okay, about 28 meg, well, even 70 megs, 4 meters has been covered with sporadic E. It's a really nice sporadic E this time of year. Get very long openings down to Spain and Portugal on 4 meters, so you can have a proper chat, you know, rather than you're 5'9". Oh no, now you're 5 and 2. Oh, now you've gone. So that was quite nice. Okay, Gary, on the concrete pouring. Interesting, yeah, because I've made sure that my concrete slab, which in total is about 8 inches thick, it's completely over-engineered. It's also reinforced and it's damp-proof, membraned, etc. But the floor itself is going to be insulated. I'm trying to make the workshop a warm floor, warm wall, warm ceiling, etc. But I like your idea of pouring it over polystyrene. That's interesting approach. Well, it's probably a perfectly normal approach. I'm not a builder, as you can tell by the if you look closely at the pictures of my workshop. what was the other one? Oh yeah, the South African weather. I've only been to South Africa once. I was working in Cape Town. I can't remember what time of year, but the weather was absolutely perfect. It was hot in my terms, but as you say, it was not too humid. So absolutely lovely. You know, day after day of beautiful weather. Lovely, lovely place, I have to say. What was the other thing? Oh yeah, and isn't it handy having Tom 10-minute drive away? Superb. Yeah, I could do with a few more people I know being a bit closer to me, because I've got to put this roof cladding up either this afternoon or tomorrow. So far, everything on the workshop's been done completely by me, apart from the concrete slab, actually, which I got some of Katie's boyfriend's chums to dig out for me during the COVID. It's quite funny. I said, do you want some money for that? Because they spent all day doing it, 3 of them. And one of them said, oh no, he says, because we're not allowed to go to the gym at the moment, so really we should be paying you. But I didn't charge them. Hi, Saro, if you're watching. And Romeo, yeah, looking forward to, we've heard a bit about Romeo now, Gary, so we're looking forward to seeing some of his lovely wiring. Leon, yeah, I agree with you. Keep up, make sure analog doesn't die out. It's quite funny, you know, I had a lot of work with the BBC towards the end of my career, as it were, purely because none of the young fellas know anything about analog or, you know, all the sort of things that you and I know. I'm keeping it very analog, though. I'm a member of the British Vintage Wireless Society. So there's the latest bulletin, and it's full of old wirelesses and valves and things. I do like a nice valve set. Transponder sounds good. I don't know if you know, Leon, but I until about 4 years ago now, I was a regular pilot, just with a private pilot's license. So I'll be interested to see your transponder and the radar going as well. Be very interesting. And yeah, there's another saying, Leon, if you want something done, give it to a busy man, because you probably get it done. And talking of old sayings, I've calculated a formula. I almost fainted with envy with your 3 garages, Leon. I've got one garage that was built in 1927 for 1927 type cars. Luckily, my car that's in it is a 1960s small one as well. Yeah, the rule is the required number of sheds or workshops is equal to the number you've got plus 1 at all times. So no matter how many workshops you get there, Leon, you will need another one. What else have we got here? Oh yeah, my valve store's in the loft here. My wife calls our loft valve store 1. There's another pile of valves in the garage. It's valve store 2. And yeah, Bert. No, Anne's not exactly throwing me out, but I think she's got plans to make this slightly more. It's going to be lathes, milling machines, CNC machine, I hope, and I'm going to make a little sub area inside, a clean workshop for watches and things. So that'll be lovely. Tom, you mentioned a word that terrifies me: downsizing. Can't be doing with that. I said Anne started talking about downsizing at one point, and no, I'm upsizing. I need more space, more land, etc. And the pies, yeah, as you say, built as hobbyist devices. Almost as soon as they came out, we were using them in the BBC for doing things, professional broadcasting things, that we had to keep quiet from the IT department because they weren't approved to go on the BBC networks. But the BBC's full of Raspberry Pis now. And I did have biltong. I think it was, I don't know how you pronounce it properly, but I had some of that when we were in Cape Town. Lovely place. Shame I was working, really, but there you go. I was going to do a quick test of some video This is mildly embarrassing because it's very, very English. But I was so impressed with the video that you were sending, Nick. Let's oh, there is music on this as well. So I'll turn it up. Luckily you can't hear it very well. Yeah, so that's what the wild kids of England get up to whenever the Queen has a birthday or anything. But there's plenty of beer involved in Morris dancing, Tom, you'll be glad to hear. Right, that's enough from me. So I'll put it round to you, Nick. Cheerio to everyone, and thanks for running things, Gary. G4IMO to take it with the group. G4FKK is off and clear. Bye.
Yeah, yeah, okay, Martin. That excellent. I've got my audio here. Yeah, yeah, got audio. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, yeah. That video was yeah, it came over very well, Martin. Very good. Very sharp. Yeah, I could hear the music. Yeah, it was all right. Excellent. The Leon said what camera I was using. It's the same camera that I took the photograph of the International Space Station, which is this camera here. This is a Panasonic TZ60. It's got a ×30 analog zoom plus a ×30 digital zoom as well. So you've got ×60. But when it's zoomed right out, you can see the lens comes right out, and the alpaca wasn't happy when he saw my lens come out like that. But yeah, it's say that's the camera that I use. It's I think it was about 100 pounds, 120 pounds, I think. But it's got a 20 megapixel sensor. So that's probably why it works so well. But it does have an HDMI cable, HDMI socket on the side, and I did plug it into an HDMI monitor, hoping that you could use the camera as it was, and you can't. Or you can, if you use the HDMI socket, you can just look at the photos on a monitor in HDMI. You can't use the live the camera, which is a shame, but it's fine for doing videos, and that's what I was using last weekend at the agricultural show. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people mentioned about this quality. It's not as good this week as it was last week. Normally, I put the F1 EJP. I normally set it for 1080. But today I've got it on 1280 by 720 is the setting I'm using at the moment. So, which I use if I'm going to do any video. If I go to the next one up, which is 1080, it's not happy. But I'm wondering actually, yes, this camera it's just a normal Logitech C920. But I'm just wondering. This particular one, I got it from PC World. The reason for that was I thought, well, because you could buy these on eBay, and I thought, well, if you buy it on eBay, at that time I was using the ports down, and that's a bit temperamental. And I thought, well, if you buy something on eBay, is it actually a C920 or is it a Chinese copy? You never know, do you? And you plug it in there and it might not work, and then you've got all the problems of trying to return it on eBay. And I thought, well, if I buy it from PC World, if it doesn't work, I just take it back to the shop and he can refund my money. So I'm just wondering whether as I say, this one here, which appears to be work very well. I wonder if people are ordering C920s on eBay and then they're not actually C920s. Maybe they're Chinese copies, so maybe that's the reason. Who knows? One of life's mysteries. Yeah, okay, on your flying, Martin. Yes, I used to fly many years ago. I remember flying into Headcorn. I wonder if you've ever been to Headcorn airfield. It's a little grass strip. I can't remember who it was now. Was it who used to? The controller, he used to be in a wooden shed at the end of the side of the runway, and he used to say, "You're clear to land. Mind the sheep," because there's all these sheep all over the place. Yes, those were the days. But yes, I flew into various places. Lead, Shoreham on the south coast. Been down there as well. That was in a Cherokee 140. But sadly, no longer flying. I don't know what it is now, but it must be an hour's lesson. Must be well over £100, I should think. It was only £12.50 an hour when I was having my flying lessons. But I think it's well over £100, I would think now for a flying lesson. Okay, I'm going to say 73 and say cheerio to everybody. I see Mike's not on here. I think he's gone to a microwave conference, isn't he? Some sort of exhibition this weekend. G0MJW. I think he's normally on the net, but I think he's at some microwave convention or something. Okay, hopefully I'll be on next next weekend. So with that, I'll pass it round to you, Gary. ZS6YI.
Okay, Nick, very good. This is ZS6YI returning. Oh, it's been an interesting whip around today. I just want to thank everyone for coming up. We have missed some of our stalwarts, Mike, of course, and Papa Yankee 2 Radio November, but I think they're otherwise occupied. But Sarah is watching, and Ari from Iceland's watching, and there are a number of others. So far, 28 people were on the stream. So I hope it all went well. I'm going to close the net, throw the ball in the air, wish everyone a very happy week, successful week, healthy week, of course, and hopefully next week, this time, we all get together again and watch the projects. All the best. This is ZS6YI operating the worldwide DATV net. Now signing clear and closing down station. 73 all.
Okay, thanks Gary, ZS6YI and the rest of the gang. ZS1 Mike just for a final. Nick, yeah, it was actually your live camera that I was referring to. So you say it is a 970 or a 920 or whatever, one of those internet cameras. It's definitely doing its job. It's really beautiful. And of course, yeah, the video that you took was also excellent. You see, Gary, that's what I told you last night. Panasonic